On today's show, we deep dive into Hololens, virtual reality board games, and the craziest musical instrument we've ever seen.
We also have the weather wizard himself stopping by, actor Liam McIntyre, who's here to tell us about a board game he designed.
I can't wait for this long show. It's Tomorrow Daily. Greetings, citizens of the internet. Welcome to Tomorrow Daily, the best geek talk show in the known universe. I'm Ashley Skeva.
And I'm Jeff Kanata, and Thursday is the best day of the week, Ashley.
I think it is. It feels good. I'm feeling good, feeling strong. We're going to talk about AR, VR, crazy musical
All the
instruments.
R's, really.
All the R's. All the realities that this reality, augmented reality, virtual reality, everything today. So let's not waste any more time. Let's hit some headlines. All right, first deep dive. We got to talk about Hololens. This is a big deal.
Yeah, we got the first confirmation that the developer kit is up for sale, 3,000 buckaroos, and you have to apply and be a developer in order to get it.
Get approved.
But it comes with some really cool stuff that we didn't know about before. It comes with some stuff we did know about before, but it's got some new game experiences, including things that transform the world around you, as AR often does.
This right here is a Holo Studio. This is what we're
Yes.
looking at. This is a building app where you're able to actually put things together. We've seen a demo of this at a Microsoft event where they kind of put together a little toy.
Right.
Same type of stuff. You're going to be able to kind of put everything together, use your HoloLens, and do it all in augmented reality in the comfort of
And
your
they
living
say they're
room.
going to keep updating this with new bits and bobs that you can add to your
Widgets.
creation, so that's going to continue to evolve over time.
Totally
There's
love
also evidently a sort of a detective game where
The
you have
fragments. I'm so
Yes.
excited about this.
Yeah, somebody sits next to you like this on the couch, and you have to interact with them.
Except they're in a tiny window because the
Yeah.
field of view is very small. It's
That's
like
the only problem. The videos that they show are really misleading.
Yeah,
Having
it's
tried
like you
it
see a
before.
full-bodied person there, and it's like,
And you
if I was
would.
looking at you, I'd only see this much of you, and then there would be nothing.
Well, you would see the full body of me, but you just turn your head slightly, and I'm gone.
You're not there anymore.
Yeah.
Which is not great. But it is a developer kit, so hopefully that field of view will be expanded as they go.
For me, the reason this is really exciting is we're going to start seeing, like with the Oculus, when it was put out as a developer kit in the developer kit 1 and 2, what we got to see were a bunch of really interesting things come out of that. We got to see indie developers really push the boundaries of what was possible with Oculus. We got to see big AAA developers take a swing at stuff and start working on things. I think the same thing is going to happen here.
Yeah, of
where
course.
you're going to really get to see what AR is capable, and things that Microsoft would never have anticipated are going to start being made.
That's the thing that I'm most excited about, is to see the things that somebody right now out there who may or may not be watching the show has an idea for HoloLens that is revolutionary. It's amazing, and they're going to at some point build it, and that's really exciting to me. And it's something that, that's why all of these major manufacturers need these sort of third-party developers. Look at the iPhone. Like, it really wasn't as great. I mean, it was amazing. Like, the iPhone in and of itself was an amazing thing, but it really stepped up into mainstream consciousness when the App Store became a thing and it opened up to third-party developers.
And that's what people are hoping for with the Apple Watch and other things. And I think, I'm really glad you brought that up, because I think that points to something that is really interesting here. When you have a company like Apple that is so closed and so protective of things getting out, the window between when they announce something and how long developers get to work with that thing,
small.
very small. And comparatively, Oculus had multiple years. I'm hoping that Microsoft learns from that, and that we're going to see HoloLens for at least a year.
I hope so.
Bake, just let it bake, let it
Yeah.
percolate, let people come up with these great things as we edge toward an actual consumer release that I hope isn't soon. I really hope that they expand the field of view, they improve the hardware, it comes down in
Maybe
price.
next holiday would be nice. Like, not this holiday.
2017?
2017 holiday, right? Just in time for Star Wars, like the next Star Wars
There you
movie,
go.
just right at the same time. Just I get all that. That'd
But
be
I'm
great.
excited for AR, I really am.
Yeah, I am too. I think it's great. We had some really good user feedback. So Chris wrote in and said, my application was accepted by Microsoft for the HoloLens dev kit. You guys want to finance?
Let's do it, let's go in. You
have
put up
like
the
a-
3K, we'll put up the enthusiasm.
Yeah, we're going to put up all that enthusiasm, and I'll give you a couple of nickels. That's all I have. Dustin wrote in and said AR is going to be a paradigm shift to the way we humans will be using technology to interact with the real world. Don't disagree with that.
Totally agree. I think this is
Really good.
this is the promise of having infinite information at your fingertips at all time. Yeah, we have them in
True.
our pocket right now, but to have that being filled in our world seamlessly, I'm so ready.
Indeed. And speaking of Star Wars, I did mention, John wrote in and said, my top hope for HoloLens, transform my 10-year-old's boffer swords into lightsabers for our epic father-son duels. Yes.
Dude, amazing.
Great idea.
I mean, you can imagine a future where you just have like virtual decorations in your house, and yeah, maybe this hat looks dumb without the goggles on, but it looks awesome with the goggles on.
Pretty amazing with the goggles
I mean, come on.
Or just
It's gonna
like, your
change the
clothes
world.
look normal unless you have,
Right.
well, like at CES, that guy had that suit with all the lights on it, but then when
Right.
you put on the little sort of glasses that he was passing out, you
Yeah.
could actually see stars coming out of the LED. It was really cool. Okay, so let's talk about VR board games.
Okay.
We won't get super deep into this, but I really love the Lost Cities translation, but I think that there is something to be said. We should talk about the best way, I think, to translate a board game into a virtual reality experience. And I don't think all board games really are designed to be put into VR.
Well, I would argue that Lost Cities is one of those, but it's kind of cool
I
that they're
think that
doing
might
it.
be one of the cases that I would
I mean,
make too.
Lost Cities is basically just numbers. It really is. And the idea that you're in this virtual space sitting at a table playing a board game is cool because now we can do that.
But it's also the experience you would have if you were doing it in person. So what's
Right.
the enhanced
Well,
experience?
you're
I
in
mean, you're
space
playing
and you're
against a space bowl.
Space Bowl.
Space bowl.
And I like Space Bowls. I would never turn down a game with one.
No.
Let the Space Bowl win, they
Too
always say.
dangerous. Or this Anubis wannabe over here.
Yeah. I mean,
Anubis
that's kind of
wannabe.
rad. I just think this is a first step.
I agree.
This is sort of the most obvious way of dealing with this rather than what makes VR special.
Yeah.
And I don't think this is what makes VR special. I think it's cool that you're in these crazy environments. You're playing with something that's, non-human.
I mean, I think if you're going to be sitting at a table playing a card game, it's got to be something a little bit more involved or in a deeper universe. So for me, Hearthstone would be a great example.
Yeah.
What was the card game that it was a card game first, and then it was an iOS game. It was it's an Arkham game.
Oh, Arkham Horror.
Arkham Horror.
Yeah.
Like that would be awesome. Like that would be really cool.
Any game where you're making something in front of you, like if I'm playing Agricola and I'm making a little farm and I get to see that farm like
Come to
live
life?
and walk around, and
That's
instead of having little wooden bits that are cows and horses and sheep, if they're walking around and interacting, that's cool. There's any game where you're making a machine, anything that you get to see.
Creating or building something or having
Right.
something grow, things like that. I think it works really well. You guys had a lot of suggestions as to what board games you'd like to see translated into virtual reality. Kenzo wrote in and said, I really like Card Wars, the game at Adventure Time, and if we can't have it in real life, then how about VR instead, or augmented reality?
There you go.
Also, that's excellent. James wrote in and said, Alt Space VR and Boss Monster game are a brilliant combo, and I'd love to see SJ Games Munchkin in VR too.
Steve Jackson games, yes. Munchkin in VR would be fun because you get to see the little Munchkin with all the little crappy, wacky equipment that you put on him.
They'd be great. Derek wrote in and said, would love to see the board game Chutes and Ladders in virtual reality. Whee!
Well, that's just because you want to ride down a virtual slide.
It's true.
That's not a board game.
Just get
That's just being on a slide.
We get like a water park virtual reality experience. You do like a slide.
Comes with its own spritzers.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. Or no, just have a friend stand in front of you and just like with a
Spritz me.
hose. With a hose.
When I say now,
Spritz me.
shoot me
Flash
with the hose.
M. Luke Videos wrote in and also said, I can't wait for augmented reality board games, but if I had to pick a board game, I'd pick Clue.
Oh,
And I like
all
that.
right.
I like Clue. I love Clue.
If you like Clue, you should try Mysterium.
Oh, okay. All
It's
right.
very
Good to
cool.
know.
Clue, it's like reverse Clue, where the person who was killed has to give clues to the people who are still alive about who the killer was.
Oh,
Pretty fun.
I like it.
Yeah.
All right, you all ready to talk about the last story?
Let's do it.
Let's talk about this
The wackiest
amazing
musician of all.
Wintergatan marble machine. This
Look
is
at it go.
Okay, we have to discuss it. We had a lot of questions about this yesterday, by the way. A lot of
Well-
people were like, Did he?
I don't know why anybody would look at that and not have questions.
Not have a question. That's very true. If you didn't have questions
First question
about
is,
this,
what?
we'd like to talk to you because you are probably an alien, and you probably designed this. So this guy, Swedish musician, and he built this thing. It took him 14 months. A lot of people were asking, did he use some kind of blueprint? Did he have, some kind of... No, this is his invention.
This does not look like it had a lot of forethought. It
No,
sort of just cobbled together.
It does look very kind of skewed, kind of Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, like it's a thing that just kept on growing.
Look at its tiny little legs. Like it looks like it's just about to fall apart.
You mean the man or the... Oh.
Yeah, the guy and the machine.
Skinny jeans, skinny jeans.
Skinny jeans, skinny.
This looks
skinny
awesome, I have to say. I love the sort of clockwork tech of it all.
I absolutely love it.
It feels like this crazy Rube Goldberg machine, but the fact that it actually creates music is it's like a little piece of magic.
And good music. I mean, the basis of the idea behind this was a music box. So if you think about a music box, I mean, this kind of works in a similar fashion, but instead of pinging on a cylinder,
right,
you're actually using marbles to make those sort of holes in the music sheet that you would use in a music box.
It looks like something out of a children's book.
It truly does. I feel like I could see it in a children's book.
Like the wild and magical marble music maker.
The Wintergatan mystery marble machine. I think my favorite part about all this is that he documented everything about building it.
Yeah,
everything.
You can really go down a rabbit hole of watching the YouTube videos. Yeah, it's fantastic to see how this thing, it started. Look at how simply it started. It's just a wheel, and and it was already functional.
It seems very well thought out. It's like, okay, that's really nice. It looks really good. It looks super functional. And then it's like, it just keeps getting bigger and crazier looking, and he just seems to get more and more inspired and coming up with and came up with more and more creative ways to sort of make music happen in this thing.
I mean, I think the fun thing on this show is, we talk a lot about high tech, but this is technology as well.
But it's analog. It's mechanical.
Exactly.
It's really
and I
cool.
think there's a beauty to that and an elegance to it that as far we get away from it, and as far as we go down the digital pathway, it's fun to be reminded of just things that work, things that just move together and bump into each other.
And don't require a circuit board.
It's pretty neat. It's pretty neat.
Really amazing. So there's some other future instruments that you can check out. I know we've talked about them on the show too, so you can.
Theremin.
Like a theremin. It's there's a really futuristic piano that we have talked about. There's like a violin. There's like a 3D printed violin that we talked about. It looks like an alien violin. It's really neat. There's all kinds of stuff. So you can go back through and watch the previous 324 episodes for that information.
Yeah, we'll wait.
We'll wait. We're going to take a quick break while you go do that. And then when we come back, we will have actor Liam McIntyre to talk about his Kickstarter Monster Lab and also talk a little bit about what it's like to be the weather wizard.
Pretty awesome.
Pretty great. So keep them in the seats, guys. It's Tomorrow Daily. Welcome back to the show. You may know our guest from The Flash, but what you might not know is he's also really into board games.
And video games. He's one of us, everybody. He's
one
of us.
One
Liam McIntyre,
us.
Thanks for being here, man.
It's good to be here.
Yeah,
Thanks, man. Thank you so much. It's very exciting. Yes, I am one of us. Before this, we were just talking about board games and computer games and Apple versus Mac and all that sort of stuff.
And we will be talking about all that stuff, but let's talk a little bit first about what you're up to. You were on Spartacus?
Yes, did Spartacus. That was amazing. That was kind of changed my life and gave me a career. And then I got to be in The Flash, which, being a big nerd, is about the coolest thing in the world.
Pretty great.
Is it as great as one would guess?
Yes.
Yeah?
So much, even better. Like there was a moment, I love this, it's my favorite story ever, where basically I had to blow up a police station, and so they'd rigged everything to explode and stuff because I've got like a weather wizard powers, using wind and stuff. But it's like, so you do it, and it's just simply like clench your fists and it all explodes, and it's filmed, and so you do it, and then you're like, oh, glass, oh god, but then you go behind. I was like, oh, can I see what it looked like? And for like a second, it went on, and then you see me go boom, bang, and no, it's not. It's not. I don't have these powers. It took hundreds of people to make this happen. But for a second, You actually
The magic of television.
I don't want to alarm you, but I may have superpowers.
I love it. Well, don't make him angry. You
not
wouldn't
here.
like him when he's angry.
No, it's not the Hulk. It's a totally different
sorry,
character.
sorry.
No, no.
Yeah, different
No,
He'll
color.
just totally blow up this studio.
Totally
If
blow it up.
I'm going to be watching your fists the entire interview. Just open hands, please.
Yeah, it's fair.
Hands
fair.
on the table.
Yeah, I get it.
Coolest thing.
I get that a lot.
But now you're designing your own
Yes.
tabletop game.
Yeah, because
which
I don't like being bored.
I love.
Yeah, no, it was kind of amazing. That's also kind of amazing. I was like sitting at a convention with Nathan Fillion, and we were going to have dinner later on, but he had like a line for like 4 hours.
Of
so
course,
I was like,
yeah, as he does.
He's pretty popular. So I was like, well, this is going to take a while. I'll make a game. So that started off as a silly idea.
As you do,
As
right?
you do, right?
Yeah, I love it.
You
Yeah.
just have an extra free time while you're waiting for Nathan Fillion to get done signing autographs with people.
Isn't that insane?
It's like the best.
It's a
That's
great
the
origin
best.
story
It's
for your
just
game,
the,
though.
I love that
yeah.
it has an origin story when we finally make it. No, but the game, it's this thing called Monster Lab that we ended up making. It started off as a different game actually, but it evolved over 10 months, and I got an amazing illustrator called Chris Allen Samuel. She's from Spain and just incredible. And yeah, it's like a game where you play a mad scientist and you put together monster parts and to crazy, ridiculous monsters, and then blow up your opponents and do stupid things to them. It's really fun.
So let's step through that process
Yeah.
of making a game, because you sit down, you're hanging out with Nathan Fillion, and then you go, I want to make a game.
It's the only way they get made. No other game
Yeah.
is made unless you're hanging out with
That's how
Nathan Fillion.
Monopoly
true.
got made.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right?
I don't know if anybody knows that.
Yeah,
but
I know. The Parker
Monopoly-
brothers are like, Mr. Fillion, what do you
Yeah.
think? I'm thinking about properties.
So you are somebody that plays a lot of
A lot.
board games.
Yeah.
What's your favorite board game of all time?
It's like your favorite
That's
movie.
what
trying.
are
But at
some
the
of your
moment-
favorites?
At
Some
the
of your
moment, this castle's called of the Mad King Ludwig, which is it's a game where you build ridiculous castles or castles, depending on which country you're from, and it's just fun because you're always feeling like you're kind of in the game, which is to me really important. I hate that. I hate games where you sort of go like Monopoly, for example, is a really awesome game, but then it's at some point, I guess the more games you play, you realize if I haven't got a street.
I'm done. Yeah, there's a
I'm just
point.
waiting.
in the-
Awesome game.
Yeah.
It's not.
You
You
know,
don't
but-
have to. You don't have.
No, but it's a beginner. It's a start. It's a start. It's an introductory game. Like it's a game that everyone can play. But when you sort of tear it apart, you're like, wait a minute, this is not as good as it sounds on the surface. So yeah, like to me, it's really important to make a game that you always feel like you're part of the whole time, and you can always influence.
Did you start with the theme, or did you start with the mechanic?
Honestly, it started with the mechanic. Which was based on a game called 31, which I thought my wife's parents made, but apparently it's just a game that's been around for like hundreds of years. But
You play it with a regular deck of cards.
yeah, it's like regular cards, and you try to put you're trying to get three cards of the same suit worth the most points. So if you get like an ace and a king and a queen, you got 31, and you're probably going to win. But the trick is kind of like, well, I've got 24. Are you likely to have more than 24 points? I'm going to knock, and then you put your cards down, everyone else gets a turn, and then you find out. So it's a simple game. And so then I was like, but I like the 3 and the combining stuff, and so from that very abstract idea, I was like, well, I like monsters, so I'm going to...
Would you say that you Frankensteined this game together?
I
Just
should
like-
have you on my marketing team,
Yeah,
which
right.
consists of just me at the moment.
Us too. Weird. So
I think
weird.
we have the same
I think
marketing.
we're
It's
the
a great
exact
system.
same
It's
marketing
me. Have I
team.
been doing
Yeah.
marketing the whole time for this show? No. But it's right. It's kind of you just got to do it.
Right.
You tread the pavement. That's the word. But yeah, so it turned into it was like penguins for a while because I was like, what's cute? Penguins, they're fun.
Yeah.
And I was like, penguins. I don't know. It's like my wife liked it. She was like, that's cute.
Right.
Yeah.
But they had
Hey, that's my fish. It was a big hit.
had big guns and stuff, right? Yeah.
Sure.
It was called Hey, That's My Fish. No, it's so there was like cool monsters because that seemed right, like Frankenstein-y things like that,
Sure.
and you put them together, and then that was fun. It was just like building monsters, which was just like a mix and match game, which is we still sort of have for kids and stuff, which is going to be like a sort of a sub rule for like the kids.
Oh, cool.
Just like a simplified game. But and then then it was like, well, how do you make it engaging? So building the monsters is fun, and people were always like, so do they fight? And I was like, no. Should they fight? They should fight. I'm like,
should definitely
they should
fight.
definitely fight.
What's the
So-
point of making monsters if they're
Yeah.
not going to fight?
I know, and I was like, because that sounds complicated.
That seems like a lot of extra rules I'm going to have to think of.
it
Nathan
was.
Fillion, when is your next convention
Yeah, I know.
so
I'm
that
gonna
I
have
can
to
wait
sit down
around?
and be inspired by your awesomeness. But so then I spent like 3 months going. Then this happens. That sucks. And then this happens. No, that also sucks. And then so I've sort of worked it down, and then Dice got involved, and I was like, does it make it too nerdy? Not nerdy enough. Then it was all probability matrices and stuff, which
Rad.
was where the game stopped being fun to make. but started being more fun to play.
Right,
So
right.
it was cool. And then over a bunch of months, you sort of workshop it until it's in a place where you're like, this is. I mean, I'm still like tinkering with some of the balance of it, like I guess you do with any game, but it's fun now. It's actually fun, which is cool.
So you got your friends to play it with you?
Like relentlessly.
And they
I'm
like
so
it. They're not
sorry.
just being nice to you, which
I
is
know.
cool.
Well, that was the thing. There was a point where I was like, I'm just going to make you play this game until you hate it. And then at one stage, some friends started going, well, can we come around and play the game? And I was like, no. I mean, we've played it a bunch. You don't have to do that. They're like, no. Can we instead of doing this other thing, can we play the game? And I was like, for real? Like you would choose to do, and so that after
That's
that.
when you know there's something there. There's something.
Yeah,
there's a kernel of
it was
special
nice.
there.
And then everyone else, I remember we played one amazing game, which I wish I had filmed so I could have put it on the Kickstarter thing. But where it came down to like you had to roll a 6 with like 6 dice, and I had an argument about probabilities. They're like, it's guaranteed. I'm like, no, it's not.
Definitely not.
Yeah, right. Thank you.
If Will Wheaton's playing, it's all ones.
Yeah, it's
like,
all
it's all
ones.
ones.
It's all
Sorry,
about the
Will.
ones.
Sorry.
He wins. He wins.
But the
occasionally.
Will's rolls are never.
Uh,
they're
I-
never there. They're never there.
Like a couple of weeks ago, I played my first ever X-Wing tabletop game, and like the guy I was playing against was just like, it was all hits. I was like, it's not even fun. Like I can't learn when everything you do beats me.
Yeah.
Like, boom, I'm sorry, man. I'm like,
It's like playing Battleship with a psychic. Can't. It's not fair.
I've never done
fair.
that. That's why. It's
It's wise. Don't. It's a good
I'm
advice.
not going to start now. I'm not
Yeah,
going to start.
don't start
That does
now.
sound like a bad idea.
It does.
Take that, Big Blue.
So from start to finish, how long did it take to develop the game to where it is now?
I guess it's going on to a year. Like
Okay.
yeah, which is kind of not as long as I thought it would be. I know some games you can like pick up in 3 months and they work, and some games take a lifetime. But it kind of, I'd played a lot of games, so that informed like how it made it easier to make decisions. Where I was like, well, I want to put this in the game. Would that be fun? What have I done? I've played that game. That's kind of got it. I didn't like the way it did that, so I won't put that. I'll take that bit, but not that bit. So you could
Right.
actually kind of
Sure.
put together different bits of rules, try them out quickly in your head almost, because you'd played all this
Because you
other.
played so many
you'd
other
had
games,
so
right?
many
Yeah,
different
of
mechanics,
course.
and then you're like, well, my mechanic's different because it's got like the 3 parts, and then how does that, but there were bits where you'd find out that was kind of like Munchkin, but then like, it was a point like. There was a lot of destroying cards, but then it was comparatively too hard to build monsters and really easy to destroy them. So you had to like change the balance of that or the powers of,
Seems like a fascinating process.
It really
Yeah.
is, and like it's funny. All my friends now, because I had like at the same time I was like, that's a good idea. No, focus on this one. So I've got like 4 other games that I now want to make, and my friends are like, we should make those games. I'm like,
Let me deal. The Kickstarter's not even over yet. So
it hadn't even started at the time.
So let's talk about your Kickstarter. So you can jump over onto Kickstarter and go to Monster Lab. That's the name of the game. Did we say the name of the game? I think we did.
Monster Lab. Yeah, I did
Monster
briefly.
Lab. And it's already passed its goal. So you're in stretch goals now.
We're in stretch goals. We're getting cool stuff for people. It's
And
great.
you got like more than 20 days left, so that's pretty good.
It funded in a day. It was amazing. Like it was this day
awesome.
where I'd had all these auditions because it's pilot season for actors. So I had all these auditions and it was like just the craziest thing. So I'd be like going into an audition and be like, oh my God, that's great. No? Okay. No, I still feel good about it. I got this stuff. I don't need you.
I'm sure all the other actors there were doing the exact same thing. I'm
Building
sure-
games
yeah,
and being
there's
like,
all the-
we're all, look at our Kickstarters, are amazing. I don't know.
We're
Next
looking
time
for a
we
very
do-
specific type.
Yeah.
Board game designer
Board
/
game.
hunk.
Aussie.
No wonder I didn't get the job.
You're exactly what we wanted.
Yeah, Australian board game hunk.
So-
That's gonna be my business card.
Listen,
Hey man,
You got-
it's
like,
a niche.
I'm just
Own
saying
it.
you can own that above the Hemsworth. Like that's something that you can say is not something the Hemsworth.
Oh, you're Thor, are you? Well, how many, yeah, sure, but I mean, how many board games have you made?
Exactly
Exactly.
right. I'm
Really? You
just
made
saying.
3?
Like, yeah, you might you're Chris Hemsworth. He's like, I've made 17 games.
I hate you.
Meet Agricola.
My
That's
grandfather was Milton Bradley.
Milton Bradley Hemsworth.
So you still have 22 days to go on,
Yeah.
on the Kickstarter. So
Yeah,
you
it's
got
awesome.
onward and upward.
Sky's the limit.
So if people want to play the game, obviously they can get the game through the Kickstarter.
Absolutely, yes.
Are you going to be able to buy the game
Yeah.
if you didn't Kickstarter?
No, that's it. Once it's made,
ever.
I mean, that happens.
No,
No,
Sometimes,
it's true.
yeah.
No, we've reached a target where we're going to print a bunch. So we'll put it up on Amazon and then see if other
Awesome.
like game sellers or resellers want to get involved. And,
Awesome.
yeah, I mean it's exciting times now. I guess like the first part of the Kickstarter, you go, well, is it going to work? And so I don't want to make too many plans. And now that it's working pretty well, which is great, we're getting to a point where now we want to see what possible. So yeah, after the Kickstarter, it will still be available. You won't get like there's cool stretch goals of like cards like where the artist will make you a monster like individually,
Wow,
so
cool.
one sort of
Sweet.
thing. And so
Wow.
there's like limited edition stuff and like
We
there's
should
some,
back that and be a two-headed monster.
Yeah.
That'd be really fun.
really fun. and so there's like limited edition series cards for like inspired by the Flash and inspired by Spartacus and stuff for fans.
cool.
Fun.
Yeah, so that those will only be on Kickstarter, but the actual game will be available elsewhere.
Sure. So I think your story can be really inspiring to people who
so.
are board game enthusiasts who have an idea for a game and are thinking to themselves like, gosh, like I really wish I could put this together, but maybe they're a little bit afraid or intimidated by the process.
Describing me right
Oh,
now.
I'm sorry, Jeff. I'm
But that's
sorry.
like the idea is like for anyone, like 'cause it came down to the fact that like I always had creative ideas as a kid, and it was like there was no real platform to communicate them. But now if you're serious about it and you build an idea from the ground up, and you have some idea of how to get that into people's heads with like a marketing strategy of some kind, there's formats where you can go, hey, I've got this cool idea. Anyone else like the idea?
Right.
And that's so exciting beyond just board games. Board games are cool because they're like contained things, but there's like that squatty potty thing, which sounds amazing.
Yeah.
But all kinds of crazy ideas that are actually pretty good. You know,
Yeah.
and if you have the drive to do it, you can achieve them now, which is kind of amazing.
Well, I think that it's that last 10%, right? You get 90% of the way there, and you have this great idea, and that last 10% is so hard to, like you
Yeah,
say,
the enacting
iterate
it.
on it,
Yeah.
finish it, make sure it's actually
Market
good.
it,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
And then
But just get it out. Yeah, like it's so easy. Like I know being an actor, you know lots of people that have written scripts and have never done anything.
Right.
So I mean, it's not like sort of Kickstarter script exactly, but it's the same mentality of going, I've got this good idea and it's so close to being able to be made. And if I just do this one more thing, like if I actually just push myself a little further, you can make it. Like I've got a card game, even if it doesn't go any further than Kickstarter.
It
I made a
happened.
card game,
Yeah,
which
that's
is
pretty
awesome.
incredible. Like that's for me, it's
And
so
strangers
exciting.
you don't know want to give you their money to play it, which
Well,
is really neat.
It's just nice to know that people are excited by it, and that but just to be able to create is such a cool gift. It's such a
So
cool power.
how high would the stretch goal have to be to create Monster Lab in virtual reality?
Yeah, if it was like 100,000, I was going to try and do like an app, so maybe $2 million. Who knows?
$2
Make a number.
million,
I literally have no idea, but that would
20
be
days.
so awesome to do VR like board gaming. And
You
got
to make $100,000 a day for the next 22 days.
That's
I
all.
think it's doable.
Well, you're going to get the Tomorrow Daily Bump.
Yeah.
So
So you're going to get
ready.
threes of people back
Yeah,
in your Kickstarter.
like 3, maybe 4 people back in this
There
thing.
could be.
No.
There could be.
So you have more ideas you're going to keep designing?
Yeah. I mean,
awesome.
this has just been such a fun experience. Stressful, but it's been really fun. So hey, why not, right?
Yeah.
It just seems fun. But I'll get this one done first, and we'll see where we're at.
Very, very cool, man.
Who's your favorite monster in the deck?
Oh, there's like a rainbow unicorn that poops rainbows. It's
A
probably-
squatty potty monster.
It's quite kind of. Yeah, actually,
From the
you're right.
commercial,
Actually,
yeah.
that's a good point. Yeah, no, that's true. That was, beautiful poop. But yeah.
Dangerous, radioactive, maybe.
Yeah, there's dangerous radioactive. There's a Catzilla that breathes fire, and there's like a dancing goblin that lives in a hot tub. It's good. So there's a lot of it's all mental. It's
That's
all
so
crazy.
great.
I like the idea even, if you ever did an expansion for it, you could reach out to artists like the Oatmeal or to make those sort of special cards that
Yeah.
kind of are monsters from their own kind of...
Their worlds,
Worlds,
yeah. Well,
yeah.
I mean, they did that amazing thing with Exploding Kittens. Like that was
Yeah.
I mean, and so fun.
and
So
so much fun, right? Yeah. So and there's a really good one called From Cyanide and Happiness right now.
Yeah, they're doing that, and they're crowdfunding
funny.
that, right?
Yeah,
That's
it's up
the
to like
crowdfund.
$2 million.
Yeah.
It looks so funny. Though.
Maybe
It
they'll
looks-
have a VR version.
Yeah, totally. Well, because that's a thing now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about it today.
Yeah?
There are, apps was the first way of taking tabletop and bringing it kind of to a wider digital
Yeah, like
Hearthstone,
Dominion and stuff like
to
that.
Dominion,
Yeah,
yeah, we had a
Hearthstone's
lot-
amazing.
And now, evidently, we're getting VR, so you don't have to have a friend. You can be in virtual reality.
You don't
and
even
be
have to have
sitting-
friends anymore.
You
You
know,
don't have to have a
to
friend.
play
It's the
board
one
games.
convenient.
prerequisite. Yeah.
So convenient.
You can
But
just play, or far away friends.
I gotta say
Yeah.
though, I still love just the tactile nature of board games.
Yeah.
That's the tricky part. That's the one thing that's hard about VR is feeling stuff. Like you'll
Yeah.
be like, wall,
Yeah.
like that's tricky. But
So
like,
we had Jeff try on something called a Tesla suit, which is a haptic feedback full body suit.
How
Just
was it?
electrocutes you in little specific ways when you touch things in
Yeah.
virtual reality. It
Like that Bruce Lee ab thing from
exactly,
It was a lot
almost
like that,
exactly
yeah.
that.
Wow,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
And it definitely was an experience.
Yeah, really? Is it like the kind of
I got
experience
to
that you
turn
like?
the dials, so it was really
Yeah, she was
Wow.
shocking me.
That's horrible.
It
And not in the usual verbal
horrifying
way.
indeed.
Yeah.
But so fun.
So it's like a torture
me.
device.
Yeah, for
Like
me
in
it
The
was
Simpsons
great.
with like, where's it? They're in all in that thing where they all like can electrocute each
Oh,
other.
right,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Out, quit it.
Yeah,
Out, quit it.
exactly that. Yeah. Dr. Bob Monroe. But I don't know. Like I feel like they'll need some kind of non-tactile way of expressing the game. I'd love to see a VR board game that kind of. I guess it's one of the like there may be some way of making a game that's not like Settlers of Catan, but something where you could be in the world as opposed to like sitting
Just
in
sitting
a
at a
virtual
table.
chair,
Exactly.
Right.
playing a virtual game.
Well, you know, like AR, your game would be amazing. You build a monster with cards, and then
AR
it
is-
stands
And
up
you can
and
see it.
walks
AR
around.
is the yeah, like in Star
HoloLens.
Wars.
Yeah.
HoloLens is the
Would be great.
best.
Yeah.
Oh my god, like because I was so excited about VR, and VR was one of those things I tried, and I was like, this is going to be good. This is going to be really fun. Whereas going into it, I was like, this is amazing, and then playing it, I was like, this is not amazing, but it is awesome. You know,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's like
it's getting there.
yeah, like I'm not. It's more like because I played a flight simulator, which was incredible, but it was still unnerving because I was like, what's happening around me in the real world?
Right, we talk about that a lot. Like the Vive now has that front-facing camera that if someone passes in front of you, you'll see a little outline of their body as they pass, so that you know no one's going to jump scare you while you have a headset on. It's helpful.
It's a trust
It's
game.
helpful.
But the Hololens, which I got to try at E3, was just like. I went in going like, yeah, I mean, good luck. Like, what is this going to be? Helping Obi-Wan or your only hope? Like, what is this stuff going to be? But it was amazing.
You did the Halo
The Halo
experience?
thing,
Yeah.
which was just, I was like,
It's just too limited
field
to field
of
of view.
vision.
at the
Yeah,
moment,
that's what
I
field of
didn't
view.
mind that as much. I mean, obviously, it's like first gen,
Like
but
looking in a little window.
I didn't,
kind of.
because I kind of, given that I expected it to just suck, I was kind of like,
Pleasantly surprised.
yeah, it was like, well, I mean, that's annoying, but the fact that it's happening.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know, like
Pretty
the fact that it works,
Right.
And like I get that it'd be weird to have like myopic vision that you really can't. It's like you can't see beyond that little frame.
Yeah.
I'm sure that won't be permanent.
Yeah,
One
I'm sure they'll
hopes.
expand it
One
over
hopes.
time.
Like,
You'd
you know,
hope
and,
so.
and it's just, but the fact that even in that one frame, all that stuff was possible. I was like, wow, you can just
Yeah.
a thing on the desk, and
You're getting your loadout ready.
and
for
when
a hit.
when you can, and when you looked at different parts of it, it tracked your eye movement, so it'd be like, oh, you're looking here. Here's information about that part of the ship, and I was like, oh, the potential of that technology is
Yeah.
incredible. And it's
Just
so-
walking down the hallway and getting waypoints.
That was the
like,
best.
That was cool.
What is even
That was
happening?
really
Yeah,
cool.
I was like, this is real. This is actually, there's a thing. Oh my God.
Very immersive because you're not. There's not a separation between you and reality because you're just in it. You're existing.
Which was cool. And so like that kind of board game, like I'd love to play that kind of board game. That could be so interesting. Just
HoloLens board.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where like Hearthstone or sort of where
Sure.
you'd pop up and you'd have characters on the board and they'd fight each other and
You
stuff.
just put down a little Hearthstone.
Well,
This
that game-
summoning stone, and then all of a sudden the whole board kind of unfolds in front of you. As
That
your
old
headset would be really cool.
PlayStation Eye game, Eye of the Beholder, they tried something like that, but it was on a
Yeah,
screen.
I remember
so you can do,
that.
I mean, we can already do that stuff, and even the 3DS has those little cards that you look through this 3DS and it'll stand
And
up.
you can,
That's
yeah, you can
right,
do
yeah.
So,
stuff,
I mean,
yeah.
that'll
I
happen.
guess, yeah, and there's, what is it, like, kind of like, is it Skylanders or something like that? Not exactly, but you've got like, or Infinity, Disney's Infinity.
Yeah, yeah.
Little
thing.
figures where you
Yeah,
can
where
play.
it would be like, or Amiibos or whatever, where it's kind of like you just have to have like a little chip and it would then do the rest,
Well,
you'd be
that's
like,
the next step, right? Is that your
Yeah.
toys all have a personality because you have them on
Yeah,
your goggles.
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I'm
don't know.
ready. Let's do it.
Just like I'm in.
Let's get in that.
Sign me up. So right now, beyond the board game,
Yeah.
let's real briefly. So you've done Flash.
Yeah, Flash has been
Yeah,
really
where can people
fun.
keep up with you?
Yeah,
Oh,
what's
there's some exciting news coming out soon that I can't talk about yet, but it's really soon. So
you can tell us after the shows.
You still
We're
know.
done.
Still no, not even then. But it's going to be really. I'm unbelievably excited about it, just for the kind of guy I am. And it's going to be cool. So I hate to leave a tease like that, but it's really exciting.
Well, it just gives people reason to follow you on Twitter.
Right. That's
Great.
all it was for.
Great.
There's nothing happening.
Your own marketing team. You're an excellent self-marketing
if
team.
you contribute to his Kickstarter page, he'll tell you the secret.
Yeah, totally.
We haven't discussed that.
I'm trying to be your marketing team.
I know
here,
you're
buddy.
doing great. You're doing great. You're
Doing
doing
an
great.
excellent, not sort of excellent job.
Yeah. No, you are doing a great job.
Well,
Maybe not an accurate job,
No,
but a great
yeah,
job.
The truth is not
I
necessarily
know,
part of it.
right?
Yeah.
But you've been on a bunch of other stuff. I caught you this morning on what just went live today. You were talking about trailers, I think. And
Oh, you mean like Most Craved and stuff like
Yeah,
that?
your
And
Most
there was
Craved
on
this
Legends of
morning.
Lair and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's been like later on today I'm going to be doing a playthrough, which is exciting. With I think it's like Smosh Games, I think it is. But it's going to be cool. So
Great,
there's
man.
it's been awesome. There's been a lot of interest and
What are you
I've been
playing
having a
right
lot of
now?
fun.
What video
Well, I
games are
have
you
I have a
playing
board
right
game night every Thursday, so that's kind of convenient. So I think tonight we're going to play. I haven't really played the X-Wing tabletop game yet, but it looks really fun.
Yeah.
So I'm going to
only
try.
2 players, but
Yeah, that's sort of it's tough finding a game that has like say more than 4 players that you can play.
Yeah,
But,
well, that's the truth.
yeah, but you know.
You got to get on Pandemic Legacy.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
I've heard
Or like,
so many good things.
I just saw. I also saw a Risk Legacy as well.
Yeah, Pandemic's
Risk
better,
Legacy.
but yeah,
Cool,
Risk,
yeah.
Risk Legacy is very good. Same designer.
Yeah, but then I was like,
Rob Dabbio.
marketing genius, like because you're like, well, you play it
Risk.
once and then buy it again.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But yeah,
But
so
no,
it's-
you play it 12 times though in the same box,
True.
and it evolves. It's amazing.
that's
It's
such a
absolutely
good
incredible.
idea. Yeah, such a good idea. Well, I will check that out.
Cool,
Check
man.
that out. Yeah.
dig
Well,
it.
thanks for being here.
Yeah,
Thanks
thank
for
you
having
so
me.
much.
Absolutely.
Where can people find you on Twitter? Because I
Oh.
know your Twitter handle is not just Liam McIntyre.
And I wish it was, but apparently there are other people that really wanted to be Liam McIntyre that decided to get there first. I know, right? No, it's at Liam_J_McIntyre.
That's not too bad.
Not
terrible.
terrible.
Easy to remember.
Well, we will also tweet it out from Tomorrow Daily. So if you go over to Tomorrow Daily's Twitter account today and you see the episode, you'll see Liam's Twitter handle, and you can click on it and all that stuff.
Yeah, genius. Technology.
You can check out the Kickstarter. Again, it's Monster Lab.
Yeah.
I'm going to build some monsters with some cards and then destroy things and fight with other monsters.
Pretty
And
cool.
who doesn't?
Sounds like a real win to me. I don't know.
There's no downside.
Yeah, there's really. I mean, it seems there's no true downside here. Everybody wants to be a mad scientist on the inside. You can check that out, and then of course you can always watch your television because I'm sure this gentleman will be popping up on it. For...
The television.
But don't turn away from this, whatever screen you're watching us on, because we have more Tomorrow Daily coming right up.
Welcome back to the show, friends.
That was delightful. He's awesome.
It's
I
pretty
want
awesome.
to be his friend.
Don't we all? Don't we all want to be Liam McIntyre's friend?
Yeah.
That was a really long interview,
Yeah,
and we will not apologize for it.
because it was too fun.
But we do have to apologize to Backeter Hackett, which will be killed from today's show.
You know what, though? It was kind of also a Backeter hack, because we were
It's a
talking about
Kickstarter.
his Kickstarter.
Totally,
so,
yeah. So
don't get mad, Backeter
Guess
Hackett.
what? All rolled in. It's like a very nice, delicious burrito. You
Boom.
got your interview. You got your Backeter Hackett all in one thing.
Boom.
You're welcome. You want to talk about some Intuit?
Let's do it.
Jeff and I got to do something very special this week.
We did. We got to go to a cool event that we weren't able to talk about until today, where we got to go hands-on with the upcoming No Man's Sky, the video game from Hello Games. That is going to be everything. It's going to be everything, evidently. It's the entire known universe and beyond.
After playing the game, I am pretty sure we are a procedurally generated universe as well. We're just really high graphics.
If you haven't heard about this game, I'm sure everybody watching has, but we'll just catch you up real quick.
Real brief.
This is going to be a console exclusive to the PlayStation 4, but it's also going to be out on PC. Basically, the idea is it's a science fiction exploration game where the entire universe is procedurally generated. Everybody that plays it is in the same universe, but it's so big, planets are the size of planets, the universe is the size of the universe, and that means that you're likely never to run into another human being because it is that massive.
The developer said, Sean Murray, the managing director for No Man's Sky, told us on Tuesday, he said, it's a little bit depressing when you think about all of these amazing planets that have been procedurally generated by the game engine they've created. About 99% of them will never be set foot on by a player.
Sounds like a challenge to gamers.
I know, challenge accepted. And I really wanted to tell him, I'm like, I think you underestimate gamers, but okay.
Yeah.
The thing that is really cool about this, we finally got to sit down and play for a half an hour. And because before we've seen these sort of guided demos.
Right.
And really, to be able to sit down with the game and understand kind of what it is was really cool. There are alien races in the game, which I really thought for a long time, like, wow, it's going to be super lonely out there.
Right. Yeah.
And now,
it's
not
great.
so.
It's great that we're seeing actual other humanoid aliens that you can interact with that have a communication system, and you have to learn their languages. You have to piece together languages. You'll actually learn individual words.
Yeah, you find these monoliths around on specific planets, but they have to be evolved planets. That's the thing. Like, you might land on a totally barren planet devoid of life.
Yeah.
You might just have water. Like, you don't know.
And there's also spaceships in space that you can run into that will be able to trade with you and have humanoids in them.
Yeah, space combat. You can attempt to shoot down a space station. Probably not the best idea, because Sentinels will come out and kill you. But you can upgrade your ship. You can upgrade your suit. You can upgrade your multi-tool / gun. And you can build stuff based on the resources you collect, or you can trade with the aliens to get better gear. This is the universe as they're zooming out. Every one of those dots is a
solar system, not just a planet.
System with
it's a solar
multiple
system.
planets in it. It's a star. So basically, every one of those is a star with planets orbiting it, and they're going to drop you off towards the outside of the universe, and you will be able to see a quickest route to the center of the universe, but it'll still take you a very long time to get there.
Yeah, the idea here is that this is true exploration in a video game. You know, there's exploration in a lot of games. Well, but it's true exploration in the sense that they don't even know what's in there.
Right, they have no idea. Because it's procedurally generated, the developers, and I thought this was so interesting, when we were playing the demo, I said, did you guys have to come, like, you guys had to find this system, because they don't know what's out there. There's 18 quintillion planets in No Man's Sky. Quintillion. They don't know what's out there. They had to find this system. Then they had to spend time playing in the system so that they knew how to help us.
Right.
That's crazy. And he said, you know, when someone lands on a planet, he's like, even we've never been there before. When they discover it for the first time, that's truly the first time anybody, including the developers, has ever set foot there.
It's a remarkable game. It's coming out June 21st. I think, judged by my play experience that we had, brief though it was, it's going to be overwhelming in a lot of ways, but I think it's really a thrilling idea of, hey, I'm going to be setting foot virtually in a place that no gamer has ever been before. And I get to name the things I see there. I get to find what's waiting for me.
So cool.
It's a pretty magical thing, and I think it deserves all of the hype that it's getting right now. I'm really excited to play it.
I have bought my ticket. I am on the hype train, and I am riding it to the end of the station. 100%. Boop, boop. All right, so you have an Into It we'll touch on very briefly.
Yeah. I got to see an early screening of Zootopia, the new Disney animated film from Disney Animation Studios. And, you know, for the longest time, Disney Animation Studios has been in the shadow of Pixar. I don't think they are anymore. After Frozen and this...
Wreck-It Ralph.
Wreck-It Ralph. Yeah, they are knocking them out of the park. And this movie is wonderful. I mean, of course...
It's got 100% right now on Rotten Tomatoes.
It is amazing. It's delightful. It has a really incredible message, but it's not preachy. It's really genuinely funny. There is one scene in this that takes place in a DMV that is maybe the funniest scene I have ever seen in an animated movie.
You might have seen part of that in the trailer, where it's the sloths in the DMV. It's just very
funny.
It made me laugh really hard.
It's really well crafted, and it has a great message. It's good for adults and kids. Like, you know, I don't have kids. I would go see this movie, and I hope you guys do too. It's really good.
I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna maybe go see it this weekend.
I think you should. I think you'll love it.
It's really weird because I'm like, I gotta decide between Zootopia and The Witch. Like,
The Witch is also very good. Very different experience than Zootopia.
Don't take your kids to see that.
No.
That's what we're into this week. If you want to check out the No Man's Sky preview that I wrote up, it's a lot of words, and you should read them because I worked hard on it. It's over at cnet.com.
She wrote 18 quintillion words.
18 quintillion, one for every planet.
Yeah.
Very difficult. It took a long time, you guys. Let's talk about photographer of the day. Rakesh is our photographer
today.
iPhone 6.
Look at this picture.
Love this. He has a little story with it too. Rakesh writes to us and says, I love the show. You guys are doing a great job. Aw. He says, this picture is taken last summer from the top of CN Tower, Toronto, using iPhone 6 in HDR mode. It was my first time visiting the tower. The city looks amazing from that view. I'm happy to give you guys full permission to use the picture in your show.
I have been there, and in fact, in the summertime at CN Tower, they let you walk around the outside of the top. You're tethered.
Nope.
And I've always wanted to do that. You wouldn't do it?
Nope.
I've always wanted to do it.
Do you hear what they're doing here in LA? They're actually making a glass slide on the outside of the U.S. Bank building in the middle of downtown.
You're not going to do that either?
producer Logan, super into it. Buying a ticket,
Oh,
probably
man,
already
I think I
bought
would
a
too.
ticket.
I want to do that CN Tower thing really bad. I would definitely crap my pants. But
I'm afraid of heights.
I
I
think it
don't.
would be amazing.
I'd probably be crying the whole time. I mean, I'm sure somebody could probably talk me into it. Like if I was there and everyone's like, they're really fun.
gotta
I'd probably cave into peer pressure if like Logan and Jeff were going to do it, but I'd probably cry the entire time.
We got to get to Toronto.
I don't like heights. I don't like heights. If you guys want to send in your photography, email us tomorrow@cnet.com.
Yeah, make sure you tell us what device you took the picture on. Give us a little story like Rakesh did, and give us permission to use the picture on the show.
If you love the show, even if you moderately like the show, share it with someone you know.
Yeah.
TomorrowDaily.com. Super easy to
We
send 'em over.
appreciate that very, very much.
Do all the things. Just tell people about the show. Because we like it, and we know you like it, and we want other people to like it.
Let's all like stuff together.
Speaking of liking, we like Liam McIntyre, and we love him for stopping by and hanging out with us and spending a full 22 minutes hanging out with us talking about board games and everything in between.
Yes, indeed.
That is it for today's show. Next week, we have a very special guest that I don't want to give up the goat. I
almost said it.
You almost said, I know, I said that.
It's a tease.
Guys,
It's going to be good.
all I'm saying is you definitely need to tune in to next week's show.
It's going to be
Thursday.
good. It's
huge.
kind of like, for me, it's a bucket list thing.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's a bucket list. Like we are interviewing, our guest next week is a bucket list item.
It's a bucket.
It's big time.
We're interviewing
Big
a
time.
bucket.
It is actually a bucket. No, it's going to be great. So don't miss it.
Yeah.
And for those of you who stuck around to the whole show, now you know the secret. So go tell everyone the secret because I don't want it to be a secret. That's it for the show. We'll see you guys next week.
Until then.
Be good humans.